So to start this off, we're actually going to first have to start doing some math. I'm going to give you my numbers just as an example. And if you're still confused, go ahead and leave me a comment so we can figure it out together. So the way I started this off was by measuring above my bust, but underneath my arms because we're working on that portion first. I measured mine out and I have 32 inches. So we're going to take our category 4 yarn, make a slip knot, grab our 5mm hook, and we are going to make a chain that comes out to the measurement that we have. And when I have my chain, I then counted out how many chains I had, and I had, for example, 112. And then from there, I figured out an even number that it's divisible by, and my number is 16. We're picking an even number so that the down part of the chevron, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This isn't our actual piece. This is just a sample that I made, but this is what I mean when I say the down part. So for mine, my example is going to be 16 from one point that's going up to the other point that's going up. But we're picking an even number, like I said, so that the down part of the chevron is in the middle. So we're taking this entire part into consideration while figuring this out. And this is going to be different for everyone. But if you want your chevron pattern to be farther apart like this, go ahead and pick a larger number. And then if you want it to be a little bit smaller or even smaller than this, then obviously you pick a smaller number. Mine, for example, like I said, is 112 chains, and that is divisible by 16 again, just so I remind you guys. And so when I go ahead and do my down part, which is the decrease, I'm going to be decreasing in my 8th chain, and that makes it perfectly even on both sides. And then one more quick tip is that if you're at a number for your chain that isn't divisible by an even number, then add more chains rather than subtract, because it's going to shrink a little while we work. Plus we're going to add some increases to make it flowy. But now that I'm done blabbering about something that I probably didn't explain very well, we can move on now. But seriously, if I didn't explain it well, go ahead and leave a comment and we'll work through it together. But once when we have our chain, we are going to connect it with a slip stitch. And how we do that, we're just going to run our thumb along one side of the chain, just making sure that it's all facing one direction. And we're just doing this to make sure that it is easier to connect for the next row. Once when it's all facing one direction, we're going to insert our hook into that first chain that we made and connect with a slip stitch, just like that. And then once when it's connected, what we're going to do is start working on the chevron pattern right away, like you guys just saw. So we're going to chain up 3. This counts as a double crochet. We're going to prepare for a double crochet, and then this is going to be different depending on what your down part of the chevron is going to be, but I'm going to put 1 double crochet into every chain that we have until we have 7, because we are going to decrease into the 8th, or whatever your down number is. So as you guys can see, we have our 7 double crochet. I'm not counting this first one, but we have our 7 double crochet, and we're going to decrease for the down part of the chevron. So we're going to prepare for a double crochet. We're going to insert our hook into that next loop that we have. We're going to yarn over, pull through, and then this one's going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to skip the next loop and then insert our hook into the loop after that. So we're going to ignore this one, insert our hook into the loop after, yarn over, pull through, and then decrease just like normal. So yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is our decrease. And then once we have our first decrease, now we're going to do a up, I guess we're going to call, since these are downs, we're going to do an up. But we are going to count this first down as 1. So as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for our down, and then we're going to count 1, and then this next loop is going to be 2, and then keep doing this until we have 7 double crochet, and then I'll show you guys how to do an increase. So we have our 7 double crochet. So remember, we are counting our first down decrease as 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then into the next, we're going to do an increase of 3. So prepare for a double crochet, go into the next loop and do 3 double crochet into that next loop. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And then this is going to be the pattern for basically the rest of the top, but we are going to do some increases in the 5th rows, but we will show you that once when we get there. But from here, we are going to count this increase as 1 again. So we're going to do 1 and then keep double crocheting until we have 7, and then do a down, and then keep going back and forth like that until we get to the end, and then we're going to connect with a slip stitch. So once we made it all the way around with our downs and ups and our everything, we connected with a slip stitch, and this is what we should kind of have. And then from here, we're going to do more rows of this. So all I'm going to do is chain up 3, And then this is going to be completely optional. I'm going to go into the back loops only just to give it a little bit more something. If you don't want to, then obviously you don't have to. But in order to do back loops, we're going to prepare for a double crochet. Instead of going into the 2 loops that we typically go into, we're going to go into the back loop and then double crochet. And then I'm just going to show you guys how to do downs and ups or decreases and increases when we get there. So as you can see, we made it to our first up and or increase, whatever you're deciding to call it, but this is our increase of 3 that we did. So we're going to prepare for a double crochet, insert our hook, and then we're going to double crochet until we get to the middle loop. So as you can see, this is 3 and this is the 3rd loop right here. We're going to do an increase into that 3rd loop. So put 3 double crochet into that loop. And then that is how we increase or do our ups. And then we are going to continue doing double crochet in, mine is in the back loops until we get to the down, and I'll show you how to do that. So as you can see, we finally made it to our down or our decrease of 3. And then as you can see, we have 1 loop for a regular double crochet, our down, and then our regular double crochet right after that. And we're actually going to do the same thing that we did for the chain. So we're going to prepare for a double crochet, insert our hook into the double crochet that's right before our down or decrease, yarn over, pull through. We're going to skip that 1 loop that the decrease is in. So we're not going into this one, we're skipping this, jumping over to the one after, and then decreasing just like that. And that is how we do our downs or decreases. And then this is what it should look like so far. And then we're going to keep doing this until we make it all the way around, connect it with a slip stitch just like before. And then I'm actually going to keep doing this until I have 4 rows in total, because we're going to increase into the 5th. So once we have our 5 rows or 3 inches, we're going to start doing increases for the ups that we have. So from here, we're just going to prepare for a double crochet once into every loop that we have until we get to the increase of 3 that we did in the previous row. So we have our increase of 3 right here, and we're just going to put 1 double crochet into the first one that we have. And then into the middle one, we've been putting an increase of 3, but we're actually going to be putting an increase of 5 for this row only. So put 5 double crochet into that loop. And this is our increase. And from here, continue on with the same pattern. Our downs are going to be the same. But once we go to the ups, do an increase of 5. And then once we're done with this row, we're going to go back to doing increases of 3. And then into every 5th row, I'm going to be doing these bigger increases. And I'm going to do this until I have the length of the dress that I want. So this is the dress length. Don't mind the armband or the sleeves. This is a later video because I forgot to tell you how long my dress was. So from one point, we're not counting this little triangle part, from one point all the way down to the other end is a little bit over 23 inches, and that's perfect. That reaches about mid-thigh for me. And then also, as you can see, I did alternate colors, and I alternated between every 5 inches or every 7 rows. And then it all kind of evened out perfectly to where I wanted it. So when the entire dress portion is done, we can put this away for now, and then we're going to be working on the sleeves next. So this is one sleeve already done, and when it comes to the sleeve, the measurements for it, it's going to be pretty much the same as doing the dress portion. You're just going to have to measure it out and then grab an even number, do all that, and then you should be good. If you need help, please leave a comment down below so we can, figure everything out together. We are a community and a family here. But I'm going to start off my sleeve, and around my arm I have 10 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and make a chain of 10 inches. And I'm going to give you guys my number just as an example. I have 36 chains. Once we have our amount of chains, we're going to insert it into the first chain, and then we're going to do a slip stitch to connect it. And then from here, since I have 36, my number that I'm picking is 9, where I will do my ups and downs or increases and decreases, whatever you want to call them. But from here, we're going to chain up 3. This counts as a double crochet. Prepare for a double crochet. And then I'm going to put 1 double crochet into every loop that I have until I get to 8. And then I will show you guys how to do ups and downs one more time. So we just got done doing our first 8 double crochet, and we're going to start off by doing an increase or an up. So what we're going to do is put 3 double crochet into that 9th loop. And then from here, this is going to count as 1. Prepare for a double crochet, and you're going to do our second loop into that next one. Then we're going to keep doing this until we get to 8, and then we're going to do a down or decrease in the 9th. So we just got done with our 8th double crochet. Now we're going to do a down. This is going to be the same thing as the body portion. So prepare for a double crochet, insert our hook into the next loop, yarn over, pull through. We're going to skip 1 loop and then go into the loop right after that and continue on with our decrease, just like so. And then from here, we're going to continue going all the way around. And then from here, we're going to need to measure out where we're going to want to decrease our sleeve. As you can see, I have marked mine off, and I'll show you guys how to do a decrease. So I've done one decrease in once we get to 3 inches, 10, 11, and 13 inches. But I'll show you guys how to do that once when we get there. And everyone's decreases are going to be a little bit different depending on your arm, depending on what you want. So once we get to the first point where we want to start decreasing, I'm going to change my colors really quick. So I'm just going to take my next color, pull this through, and then cut the original color and tie those 2 tail ends together. Now we're ready to start rock and rolling. So we're going to do the pattern regularly up until we get to the down or the decrease, but we're going to stop not the first double crochet in front of the decrease, but the second one. So we stopped 2 double crochets before we got to our down or decrease, and now we're ready to start doing our bigger decrease. So don't mind this, I had to tie this in, but we're going to prepare for a double crochet, insert our hook into the first back loop that we have, yarn over, pull through. It's actually going to be a decrease of 4. So we're going to insert our hook into the next loop, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to skip this middle loop just like how we've been doing, and then go into the one after that, yarn over, pull through, and then 1 more, yarn over into the last one. We're going to yarn over, pull through, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and then that is how we're going to decrease for the sleeve. And then this is basically the entirety of the sleeve. You just got to decrease wherever, you got to decrease. So I'm just going to show you guys what my sleeve looked like one more time. And we're not looking at this because this is going to be the row that evens everything out. We haven't done this part yet. But like I said, I decreased into where I got to 3 inches, 10 inches, 11, and 13 inches. And then from there, you're just going to cut and tie and alternate your colors. Do whatever you guys please. So yeah, you guys go ahead and do whatever you guys got to do for your sleeves, and then we will meet you back once when we are done so that we can do this next row. And then really quickly before I go, I just want to say that this sleeve reminds me of one of the outfits worn in the recent Aquaman movie. I forget her name. It's a really tall lady, Aquaman's mom, but it reminds me of her outfit. But anyways, we're gonna keep moving. So we are all finished with our sleeve, and now we're going to even out the top part, and you can actually do the same thing for the bottom part if you want as well, but I'm actually going to keep mine uneven, jagged, whatever you want to call it, like this, just because I like it. I think this looks pretty cool. But in order to do the top part of the sleeve, this is going to be different for everyone. This is a completely customizable piece, in case if you haven't noticed. But we're actually going to insert our hook into one of the peaks that we have, so into the middle of one of these highs. We're going to grab our colored yarn, whatever color you want. We're going to make a slip knot with that, insert that onto our hook, pull it through, chain up 1 to secure. And then from here, we're just going to be working our way, doing single crochets all the way, making our way to treble crochets, or even more if you need something longer than a treble crochet. But we're going to keep doing that until we get to the middle part. So from here, I've already figured out what I need to do. And like I said, this is going to be different for everyone. But I'm just going to start off with putting 1 single crochet into the next loop, into the back loop, because I want to continue on with this ribbing effect that we have. And from here, I have 3 half double crochets. Once when I have my 3 half double crochets, I have another set of 3 double crochets. And once we have this, we're going to do 4 treble crochets, and this is going to go past the down that we have. So let's do a treble. Treble is yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is a treble. And like I said, I have 4. So this is the first bit that I have. So it goes from 2 treble, 3 double, 3 half double, and 2 single. And then these are all in the back loops only, and then we're basically going to do the entire thing that we just did but in reverse. So we ended right at the down with 2 treble crochets. So on the other side we're going to do 2 treble, 3 double, 3 half double, and 2 single. And then we're going to do that. If we did it correctly, we should be able to do the same exact thing for this other V portion that we have. So we went ahead and made it all the way around with our evening row. And if your chevron is actually deeper than mine, then you can do another row, whatever you guys have to do to make this a flat surface. But since mine is already flat, I'm going to chain up 1 and cut. And then once we have all this done, if you're going to do this to the end of the sleeve, you can go ahead and do that. Now would be the time. But if not, go ahead and make a second sleeve. Once we have both of our sleeves done, we're actually going to do the same evening out row that we did for the body portion. So we can set our sleeves aside. Grab the body portion, and it's pretty much going to be the same thing that we did for the sleeves. So we're going to take the smaller part, and then we're going to insert our hook into one of these ups. Doesn't matter which one. We're going to take our other color yarn, make a slip knot, yarn over, pull through, and it's basically going to be the same thing. Just keep getting bigger until you get to the middle, and then once you get to the middle, go ahead and do the same thing that you did on one side but in reverse, going up the other way. And then we're going to do that around the entirety of the top portion. So how I'm going to do mine, it's going to be the same as the other one. I'm going to insert my hook in through the back loop and do 1 single crochet, and from here I'm going to do 2 half double. Here's 1, 2, gonna do 2 double, and then I'm just going to do treble crochets until I get to this middle loop. So that is 3 treble crochet. And then once we get to the middle, we're going to do the same thing that we did here, just flipped on the opposite side. So since this is the middle, we're not going to count this one. So we're going to be doing 2 treble, 2 double crochet, 2 half double, and then from here we're going to put single crochets until we get to the middle. So we have 1 single crochet, and then since we are at the up, this is the peak, we're going to continue on with whatever we had here. It should be the same for all the other pieces that we have, so go ahead and do that. I'll meet you back once we're done. Go ahead and cut and tie. So once when you're done evening out the top row, the next thing that we have to do is attach our sleeves. As you guys can see, I've already done one, and it's super duper easy. At this point, you're going to want to try this on along with your sleeves, and then you're going to want to put in your markers or spacers, whatever you guys call them, and see right where they meet. And then you're going to want to make sure that there's the same amount of loops on both sides. And then once when you have that, all you're going to do is just insert your hook in where one spacer is, and then insert your hook where the other spacer is on the sleeve. Grab our yarn, and then we're just going to single crochet across. And then a quick tip, our seam is going to be on the inside, or at least I like to put my seam on the inside. You can't really tell where it is, but I just like to hide it just in case. But once we have that, we're just going to pull our yarn on through, chain up 1 to secure, and then from here we're going to keep them sandwiched together. We're going to insert our hook into the next loop, into the body portion of the dress, and then into the same loop that we have but into the sleeve, so into the next loop of the sleeve, and then single crochet. And then we're going to keep single crocheting like that until we get to the other marker that we have, and then we're just going to cut and tie. So once we've attached both sleeves, now we're going to start working on the top border that we have. So all we're going to do to start this off is grab our yarn, make a slip knot, and then we're going to insert our hook into any one of these loops. It doesn't matter. We're just going to be doing a row of single crochet, 1 single crochet into every loop that we have, going all the way around. Once we get back to the end, I'm going to connect with a slip stitch and then cut. But if you're going to keep the same color, then you don't have to cut. So once you're done with your row of single crochet, now we're going to be working on the top shoulder border. So we're just going to insert our hook, and then you're going to want to measure out how thick you want your border to be. Mine is going to be 2.5 inches. So the first thing we're going to do is make a chain of however long you want the border to be. Once we have our chain, we're going to block off that last chain that we did. We're going to chain up 3. This counts as a double crochet. Prepare for a double crochet, and then put 1 double crochet into the loop that we blocked off, or the 4th loop from the hook, And we're going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet into every loop that we have going back down our chain. And once we've successfully put 1 double crochet into every loop that we have, we're going to connect it with a slip stitch into the base. So as we can see, we're connected into this loop. We're going to count 2 loops away from that. So 1, 2, connect into that second loop with a slip stitch. And then in order to start up a new row, we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 loops. So here's 1, 2, flip our work, prepare for a double crochet, and then for the rest of this border, we're going to be going into the back loops with double crochet. So prepare for a double crochet, and then put 1 double crochet into every back loop that we have. Once we get to the end, chain up 3, and then work our way back, connect into the base with a slip stitch up the next 2, and then work our way back and forth like that all the way around. I'll meet you back when we're done. So I just got done doing the entire shoulder band all the way around, and now all I need to do is connect it to the base and then connect it to the other side. So since we're here, our base actually connects into the same loop that our first one went in. So we're just going to insert it into there, yarn over, pull through with a slip stitch, and then from here now we're just going to connect these 2 parts, but we are going to make sure that the seams are all on the inside. So I'm actually just going to readjust because we do have a seam right where the underarm is, and so I'm just going to fold it over this way. But if you don't, or you can't, or you don't want to, it's fine. It should all look great anyways. Once we get here, we're going to sandwich these 2 pieces together. Then we're going to be inserting our hook in through 1 loop from one side and in through the same loop but on the other side, and then we're just going to single crochet them together. Let's do that one more time. So insert our hook into the next loop on one side, into the same loop on the other chunk, and single crochet closed. And we're going to do that all the way down. Once we get to the end, go ahead and cut tie. And one of the last things that we have to do is make a chain so that we can weave it in and out of our shoulder band. And I just made a regular chain of 45 to 50 inches. And once we have our chain, I'm just going to show you guys how we weave it in. So we're going to grab one end of our chain, insert it onto our tapestry needle, or you can use a hook, whatever you guys have. And then we're going to just eyeball it, see where the middle is. I'm assuming that it's about here. And then all we're going to do is be weaving it in and out of these double crochets, but they're not vertical, these are horizontal. So we're going to have to just kind of figure it out. But I'm going to be going in and out of 2 rows. So here's 1, skip 2 rows, insert your needle, skip 2 rows, bring it on back. And then we're going to do that all the way around. And this is our shoulder strap once when we are all done. And then from here, the last thing that we have to do is weave in all of our ends. And our off-the-shoulder chevron dress is finally finished. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it definitely took me a little bit to get the dress portion done, but I love it. The off-white and the sea foam, greenish, light teal, whatever color it is, goes perfectly together. But I think this pattern will also look great in rainbow or pastels. And I may be making those in the future, so go ahead and keep an eye out on my Poshmark, Depop, and Etsy pages. If y'all make this, please tag me on Instagram at TCDDIY. I'd love to see your renditions and to see how y'all style it. But if y'all like this piece or any other piece on the channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It's right beneath the video. It lets YouTube and I know you're enjoying the videos, and it goes a long way to helping the channel grow and gain traction. But if you didn't like it, go ahead and give this a thumbs down and leave a comment letting me know why you didn't like it. Or if you have any questions, want to leave a request, or if you just want to say hi. If you love it, do me a gigantic favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's right beneath the video. It'll let you know when there's a new video uploaded to the channel, get you a bit more priority for requests, and it goes a long way to helping the channel grow so I can keep making all these great videos for you guys. And lastly, if you're already subscribed, please hit that notification bell to know when there's a new upload right away. And please share with your crafty friends, every bit helps. Links to the yarn and the hooks will be in the description. If you guys buy something using those links, it goes towards helping out the channel as well. And lastly, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest links are down there too. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one.